This filmmaker and documentary producer Michael Moore, also a good friend of this broadcast. Good to see you, Michael. Let me ask you first about your thoughts on the second impeachment trial. Do you think it could potentially compromise the message that Joe Biden has put out there as a message of unity? And does it matter to you if it does?
Well, unity in this case with Trump and what he did to incite that riot. Unity would mean our devotion to the Constitution. That's what we're unified on. And he cannot get away with this. If he gets away with this, if he's not tried and convicted in the Senate, look, he's not going away to jail for life. It just is the United States Senate has to take a stand and say to future presidents, you cannot do this. You cannot send off a cop-killing mob down Pennsylvania Avenue and do what they did. Never happened in our 200-year-plus history. And they are going to make a huge mistake for the safety of this country if they do not have that trial and convict him for what he did. Absolutely. Now, as far as unity, we need to redefine this word here. We already have unity in this country. Other than maybe the far crazy 20% way out there. The ones who believe that the Clintons are still operating a pedophile ring in the pizza place on Connecticut Avenue. Other than them, most Americans are unified. We all pretty much want the same thing. We all are unified on we want our kids to go to the best schools. We're unified on the fact that we want to breathe clean air and drink clean water. We're unified on so many things that we have in common. We're much more of that than the things we don't. The things we're not unified on, there's just a few things. If you don't believe in abortion, don't have one. If you want to have a gun, have one. Just keep it safe. If you don't believe in gay marriage, don't get gay married. You'll hate it. So that's really kind of about it, isn't it? We already are unified, so we need to quickly be unified on getting rid of COVID. If your neighbor's house is on fire and you look out there and you go, oh my God, we should call 911. Oh no, wait a minute, I think he's a Democrat. Nobody would say that. We all have to be together on getting rid of COVID. It's in a horrible state right now. I know Biden said he's going to do 100 or a million doses in 100 days. Was that what it was? Something like that? I can't remember.
Yeah, 100 million doses in 100 days. Essentially a million a day.
100 million.
Right.
Okay, so good news. His first 2 days, there were 1 million doses each day. So off to a good start.
So far, so good.
But we're out of the vaccine. So he needs to be very proactive and not wait around and not hold meetings. He needs to, like he said, engage with the Defense Production Act. And he needs to send National Guard troops. How about the Army Corps of Engineers to Kalamazoo, Michigan, and essentially do what Roosevelt and Truman did during World War II, kind of take over the factory or run it so that this gets done. It's not about how much money Pfizer is going to make now. It's how many lives we're going to save.
Look,
so we have to, the government, we, the people who are dying at a rate of 3,000 to 4,000 a day, we, the people, now own those factories until we win this war. He has to do that. His administration has to do that right now. But otherwise, I think it's been a great first few days. I was so happy on Inauguration Day. I mean, that day, his speech, J-Lo, A-Rod, Gaga. I mean, it was all President Amanda Gorman, 2036. Oh, yeah. I mean,
and three former presidents there. I mean, just the tradition that was upheld.
And poor Jimmy Carter, who just is, 96 and not so well right now, but he wanted to be there.
Yeah,
it was so beautiful. And when they did that little parade, the small walk down Pennsylvania Avenue by the White House, and Vice President Harris loses an earring, and her husband, so attentive, noticed that the earring fell out, and he runs back down Pennsylvania Avenue to get the earring.
Yeah.
That's like, yes, it's like, and I think anybody watching that's going, where do I get one of those spouses? What factory does he come out of?
But let me ask you, Michael.
Does Amazon deliver?
About when you talk about, as we look ahead to the impeachment trial and the interpretation of the Constitution, I'm going to just tell you, it pains me to say that I appreciate what you're saying about the Constitution, but even within my family, I had a pretty heated chat with one member this week. We could not be more opposed in our interpretation of what that means and its application. So I'm not unique in that. There are millions of families. You said there were the 20% of those that are adhering to this kind of very far extremist. I think it might be more than that. Aren't you worried about that? That all of this has infiltrated so many facets of our society, that to have these kinds of conversations where we talk about unity, the things that are important, keeping a good home, educating your kids, good food, being able to be together.
You and I mean, you're younger than I am, but we grew up in a time when there were TV commercials for cigarettes where a doctor, a real doctor, during the commercial would tell people how good smoking was for them. And the more they smoked, the healthier they'd be. Yeah. I mean, I have seen Americans able to wrap their heads around the truth eventually and do the right thing, the majority. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, Biden has a mandate. He won by 8 million votes. We have the House, the Senate, and the White House. And I think that he has to be given a chance to do what FDR and others who've taken that first 100 days and just go for it. Because first of all, none of us believe he's going to do anything to hurt the country. All he's going to try to do is save lives right off the bat. So let's let him do that. Do not get in the way of that. And that means people being able to have money and all the, not being evicted from their homes, everything else that needs to happen right now. And then we're going to see how we need a national health care system, not like the one we have now. This never should have happened. I don't want to put it all on Trump, but I will. But seriously, I mean, this is a mess right now. I'm scheduled to go get my vaccine next week. And I'm thinking, well, wait a minute. I just see the mayor and the governor saying they're going to hand out the second vaccines for the people who've already had their first. They're just going to hand them out now. Well, wait a minute. Why would I go get my first vaccine next week if the second one, I need to get the second one in 3 weeks, it's not there? So what am I going to have to do? Go get another first vaccine? It's so confusing to people. All of us must get vaccinated. All of us must wear a mask. If we all join in this together, one for all and all for one, we're going to save ourselves, and we're not going to have to watch our parents and grandparents pass away before their time. Yeah. But that is, I know everybody has this conversation in their families. There's a lot of disagreement. I'm going to right now bet on a large number of people that voted for Trump are going to want to live, and they're going to want their parents to live, and they're going to want their kids to go back to school, kids who've lost a whole year now and may never really catch up or recover in the way that they should. It's very serious. Everybody should be, we all want the same things here. So now that the majority have elected this, and please get rid of the filibuster. It is not democracy when you have a filibuster. Winning is called 50% plus one, right? I mean, yeah, if the majority. If the score in the baseball game is at the end of the game is 6-5, who wins? The one who has 6. You don't say, oh no. I know that they have to score 8. It has to be 8-5. Who says who? We in our daily lives, we don't see this, the sense in this, in anything you could put this filibuster idea to. It's 50% plus one, that's it. And don't you remember back in the old days when they used to filibuster? Here's for the young people. You filibuster meant a senator could stand up and talk for as long as he or she, usually he, wanted to, and they could hold up the vote for as long as they could. The human body can stand in one place without food or water, I think for 2 days, maybe 3, I don't know. And then they would collapse. And that'd be the end of the filibuster. Or 60 senators could vote and say, that's the end. We're not going to let you collapse on the floor here. That's what a filibuster was. And you just had to wait out the couple days. But then the Democrats came along, I don't know when this was, during Clinton or whatever, and the Republicans said, no, if they don't have 60 votes, it doesn't count. Well, no, you need 51 votes. 51 votes If you want to filibuster, go at it.
It's
We'll just
always-
sit here and play checkers.
It's always interesting when the shoe is on one foot and then it has to be transferred to the other, I'll say. Let me ask you real quick. My producer told me in my ear that you wanted to say something about Hank Aaron and some connection.
Oh, yes. You know, I was a few months ago, I was telling some friends, they said, who would you like to meet that you haven't met when the pandemic is over? And I said, Hank Aaron. And they said, wow, why? I said, because have you ever looked up what happened on the day you were born, the actual day you were born?
Oh.
So I looked this up. Hank Aaron hit his very first Major League Baseball home run.
That's cool.
In the hour I was born. In the hour that I was born. And so I thought for some time, geez, I'd love to just meet him. Because it's not like it was a coincidence, right? You know, there was no connection truly between him being able to hit his first home run and me landing on Earth.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with it.
But that would be cool.
It would have been cool, but now what I'll do is, you know, he was out there working in that Georgia runoff race just a few weeks ago.
And getting his COVID shot. I mean, he was trying to lead by example. Yeah, he was a remarkable man.
And what he had to put up with.
Yeah, can I also just add, you know, Michael, I'm a huge Major League Baseball fan, and I'm also just going to add, it was a little heartbreaking for me this week because you may have heard about the passing of Hall of Fame pitcher for the LA Dodgers, Don Sutton. He also was the voice of the Atlanta Braves, and I'm just going to put a shout out there because he was married to a very dear friend of mine, and I got to know Don.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's been hard, but I have the most extraordinary recollection of Don Sutton when my young son was really interested in baseball, and he was a pitcher. Do you know Don came to play when he came to do the voice of the Atlanta Braves on TBS, and they were playing against the Mets, and in the old Shea Stadium, he gave a pitching lesson to my son, you know, showing him how to throw his famous curveball. It was the coolest thing ever, and such a gift as a memory. And
he was so supportive.
Yeah.
He was so supportive back in the day of Hank and of all of ending racism and being a better country. Yeah. So I'm glad you've mentioned his name. Yeah. We've lost so many good people in this last year, and I want all this to end.
Amen
and thank you for having Dr. Fauci on. And it's so great. I was watching that and I said, "Oh my God, come here. It's the free range Fauci." He's completely untethered.
The liberated Fauci, I believe he has said. He feels liberated. Anyway, Michael, I've got to go because, you know, as I said before, my producer will have a cow if I keep going. But that means you just come back because we love hearing what you have to say. Thank you, Michael Moore.
Thank you so much, Alice.
Okay, see ya. Well, the Trump administration's parting gift, why some are calling it sabotage, it's next.